if you were to go back in time and visit a 16-year-old self and give them some advice, what advice would you give them? So it's you now, going back in time, visiting yourself as a 16-year-old. That age is really important. And I'm going to ask you, what advice would you give yourself at the age of 16 to progress further in life? There's one slight caveat to this. And Spencer, before you go into, oh, I'm going to give him the lottery numbers. No! Cutting that straight out. No lottery numbers and nothing that's going to allow you to make crazy amounts of money. So you're not just suddenly going to buy Google or invent Twitter or something like that. No, sir. Okay? So that's gone straight away. You're not having that. I just want some genuine life advice that you would give yourself at 16. We're going to have listeners and viewers at all age ranges. And maybe there are some 16-year-olds out there that are watching us and subscribing right now. Down there. Yep. Subscribe. And now you can take this advice from us, because we've lived it. We've lived a life. Well, we've lived 3 lives. 2.5. So we're here to give you some advice when you're a 16-year-old growing up. Here we go. Coming over to Spencer. Let's go first, because you've got the shortest age gap because you are the youngest on the show.
Sure, mate, sure. So all I would say, and immediately, I can't believe you said that, man. I was going to say Saturday the 2nd of September 2023. 9, 11, 46, 49, 53, 55. I immediately pulled up all the recent lottery winnings, but fair enough. What I would say is, I regret how late I got into PlayStation. So I think I would tell my younger self, don't get into Super Smash Brothers. What are you doing? Actually, no, he needs to for this to all happen, I suppose. It's like it's like killing a butterfly or whatever.
This was the catalyst, wasn't it? That's how we all kind of know each other, is Smash Brothers, because that's kind of why me and Davey know each other as well, because Brawl kind of brought us together. I know we went on holiday together and we were in rival bands around Caldecott, so we kind of knew of each other, but it wasn't the loving relationship that we have now. So Smash Bros. Brought you two together as well, and thus brought us together, Spence. So we've got a lot to thank Super Smash Bros. For, so don't get rid of that one.
Yeah, it did get me a lot of money as well. But, well, I say a lot. Not much.
Yeah, then you got a job and realised how much money is.
Yeah, then I got a job. Yeah,
living off I was 4 weeks pennies. On 50 quid. Somehow.
I was doing it, mate. 30 quid a week I was making. Jeez. And 120 once a month. But, yeah, I'd probably advise my younger self, get into gaming, get into PlayStation, play some single player experiences, because I never really did when I was young. Get on the trophies, mate. You're going to love it one day. Get on the trophies. Stick with COD, because you're going to be cracked when you're older. Maybe enter some tournaments. And, maybe just buy a Bitcoin. But that's it, I wouldn't go too far. We can't make ridiculous money, you said. So a Bitcoin, I think fine. Maybe a few. But that's it. I'll leave it at that.
A Bitcoin versus the 50 quid you were winning at Smash.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money, a Bitcoin, in comparison. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I just want to be more into PlayStation at a younger age, because I never was.
If you had gone back, right, and you're now you flash forward to now, and that reality had happened, what games would you have hoped that you'd have experienced back in your youth?
Well, the thing is, I think I would have even more love for Last of Us, because I'd have played it originally, rather than a month before part 2. And it very quickly became my favourite game of all time. I'd have played all the original God of Wars, Uncharted when they came out, the Batmans. Bro, I don't know. Resistance, Killzone. Jeez, this podcast might have started a long time before it did, if I was that into PlayStation back then. We could be on episode 300, 500 and something. We might have 200 subs. Think about it, boys.
Imagine that reality. It
could be a lot.
10 to go. 10 to go.
10 to go,
Inching them in. Oh,
hit that button.
Yeah, do it, please.
Yeah, that's a quick reminder for everybody out there that's got this far into the podcast, because you're obviously enjoying this banter, this little bit of chat that we're having. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, because it costs you nothing and it helps us. It makes us very happy. We really want to get to 200 by the end of the year. Right. Now, Davey, I know you've had a little bit of extra time here to think about my hypothetical. What are you going to say to 16-year-old Davey?
Can I impart 2 bits of advice that are quite small but would have a major impact on my life now? Am I allowed
Go
that?
for it. Yeah, I'll allow you to. That's fine. If you want to be greedy and you want to cheat, Because there's no winners and no losers here, but if you have to cheat, you're technically a loser.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it because this would actually have changed my life quite a lot. I would have gone back and I'd say, hey, you know that party you're going to go to and you're going to sneak a litre bottle of vodka and just drink the entire thing straight thinking you're a big man? You're going to be sick for 3 days on the row and then you can never drink straight vodka again. Even when you're 34, it makes you retch immediately. You love vodka. Don't be a dickhead. Just take a little bit out with you. In fact, just take the beers that's in your dad's cupboard that you took as well. And then you would have pulled a bird that night, easy, maybe 2, because you were in there. And you wouldn't have fallen in the bins on your way home and then been comatose for 2 days when you probably should have got your stomach pumped. So that'd be my first thing, lads. That's like one of the darkest things ever. I've never been that white girl wasted in my life. Like, when people say they're a paralytic, that was paralytic. I've never been like that again. Like, where your legs just do not work. And you're just gone. And you're like, it's just not even fun anymore. And everyone's just worried. You know, no one's even laughing at you because you're trash. Everyone's like, he's going to die. He's going to die tonight. So that would be my first bit. My second bit of advice would be, you're 34, you've never caught an STI. Don't worry about it. Don't wrap it, just raw dog it. Because your luck's there, boy. You've never caught a goddamn thing. So just keep raw dogging every time you get the opportunity. Don't worry about it. And as far as I'm aware, no other kids.
I was going to say, mate, Cass is what, 5? How
Yeah.
old would he be? If you were raw dogging every time.
So far, mate, luck's in. I mean, maybe because I did rap, you know, when I did at those specific times, maybe that's the difference now. Whereas I could be here, I could flash back to this moment, and I'm absolutely riddled. You know, like
Itching your nuts on
yeah,
mid-show.
I got like gonorrhea cock. I got like the one ball that's just covered in warts. It could be horrendous, right? That could be the worst advice I've ever given out. But I reckon roll the dice, mate. Roll the dice. I give with the one hand, I take with the other, and then we just see where my life ends up. Could I be an alky at this point where I've just not gone off vodka and I love it a bit too much? And it takes every night for me to take the edge off. Take the edge off the gonorrhea sting from when I piss to have that glass of vodka. So yeah, that's where I'm going. I probably would either ruin my life or slightly improve it, or kind of none of the same, but I like a bit of vodka now. Who knows? But I'm happy to take those odds.
Do you feel like you're missing out not catching an STI then? Is that what you're trying to achieve by giving that
feel like that
advice?
is-
Because you want to be burnt. You know when you're growing up as a kid and you reach up to that stove and you touch the hot pan and you're like, oh, that's heat. That hurts, right? I'll never do that again. You know, you've gone too close to the sun, young Icarus. Is that what you want with the STI?
I've never been to a gum clinic in my life, right? Like never. And I always thought, there's a chance here that I've got something. And then when you get a woman pregnant, they go and get tests. And that's when you know, because they get tests. And if they're clear, you're clear. It's totally fine, right? So everything's A-okay my end. But I've never had that experience because there was always these horror stories about when you go to the gum clinic that they put this thing
Straight up your thing.
down in your urethra, right? And I was always like, there's no way.
Oh,
that can't
God.
be real. That sounds barbaric. Where they put this little thing that's got like little gauze or something on it, just down your dick. And I'm sure that probably isn't a thing. I'm sure someone just made it up. But that was the reason why I avoided the gum clinic. But now, I don't know if that's real or not. And I'm sure it's probably a Google away, but maybe they hide that information so young lads go in and get tested. And then when they leave, they got to sign an NDA. I don't know. But I would be able to close this loophole in my life and know that actually, no, they don't put a rod down your dick. I just want to know what it's like.
It sounds like another one of Spencer's weird fetishes. We've
Yeah.
been through them all so far. And if whatever that's called, I don't know, but I'm sure it's got a name.
It does have a name.
Oh, there we go. He knows. He knows.
It's
Yeah,
disgusting.
cool
But I know
Spencer.
someone
He knows.
who enjoys that fetish.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that's manking.
It is horrendous. It's me. It's not. It's not me. It's definitely not me. Awful fetish. Jesus Christ, it's the worst of the bunch.
That's a bad one, isn't it? That's a bad one, that one. But yeah, so that's what I do, lads. That's what I do. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy? What would you do?
Well, moving on from Spencer's weird fetish. My advice to 16-year-old me, I think, let me introduce you to a little story about my life. I've kind of got to the point now where I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking things could be a little bit better. So I signed up to a personal trainer, okay? And this last week has been one of the hardest weeks of my life. The diet's changed. The amount of working out, strength-wise, has changed. I'm now doing cardio. There's supplements out the wazoo. And it's all because I have never really taken training all that serious. I know, Davey, we used to go to the gym fairly regular, okay? But we only went and just lifted weights. We didn't really maximize the full potential there, okay? And we got some gains and we did very well with those gains. But imagine if we had taken it seriously at that point. We were back in Davis's gym with your dad, with Big Dog, with his gloves, his special mystical gloves that still hang around your dad's garage. And we could have made something of ourselves. But now looking at ourselves on the podcast, because we look at ourselves every time we record a podcast, and this podcast, for all the people on Spotify, it's on video, so you can actually see what we look like. We could be stacked. Not that I really want to be super stacked, but we could be a little bit better than we are now. So I think 16-year-old Phil, I would have said, get into the gym slightly earlier than you did, because this last week has killed me. And this is why, when we get on to what we've been playing, I haven't really been playing a lot. Because I've been suffering from the gym. It's been super difficult. I'm 38, and now I've decided to take the gym really seriously. It's killing me, guys. Really, really killing me.
Well, the thing is, if you had started the gym earlier, you wouldn't have had that hunchback. Phil was walking around in his early 20s like Quasimodo, bro. It was wild.
He was playing WoW at the time, weren't you, mate? So
that's what it was, yeah.
It is all
I was a WoW head. I had long hair, hunchback. And I didn't go outside a lot, to be perfectly honest. I just played a lot of WoW and really enjoyed my time. But yeah, nearly failed my first degree because of it. So,
bloody hell.
Would you want that in your life? I don't know. You've got a level 60. He's got all the epics. He's got Thunder Fury. But you
look like a twig.
Yeah. You look this way. So I think maybe I should have subbed out World of Warcraft for the gym at that point and gone a little bit more serious. And I think things would have played out near enough the same. But I'd just be a little happier when I looked in the mirror.
Oh, that's a bit sad.
That's devastating.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, my God. Fucking hell. I feel like I'm going to cry. Shit. Is this an intervention on this podcast? Fucking hell.
That's very funny.
Oh, God. Oh, dear. Well, that was bloody depressing. Audience, if you got any advice that you'd give your younger self, write into the podcast. pswetrust@gmail.com or hit us up on the socials, all in the description of the show.